afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Tanika Maria here. It has been a minute since I come out here on YouTube, and it's been about a month. And so I've fallen off of my wagon, but I just wanted to come out here to share and to drop some brief nuggets and to connect with you all. As you know, I am Tanika Maria, and I'm all about helping you get real, be healed, and move forward in life in emotional wholeness, peace, and clarity. I'm about healthy relationships. I'm about emotional mastery, healing, and resiliency. And a key component of this is learning how to navigate relationships with wholeness, with peace, with clarity, and with grace. And on to this morning, or rather this afternoon here in North Carolina, today's topic is 3 things that a relationship will never do for you. 3 things. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Sheila. Good to have you on here. Good to have you on here. I'm live because this is the one way that I know I can get a good video recording. So thank you for being here. And if you're inclined to do so, definitely share this out. Hopefully we'll have more people on. But at any rate, the replay will be available, of course, here on YouTube. I love this quote. And before I get into it, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that button so that you can get the notifications and subscribe to this channel. And definitely follow me on all the social media platforms. I love this quote by Deborah Folletta. You will never feel whole in the presence of your mate if you don't first feel whole standing alone. You will never feel loved in the arms of your spouse, the arms of your boo, the arms of your bae, your significant other, if you don't first feel that love within yourself, with the love of God. And like I've said before on some of my other broadcasts on Periscope, we want to come into a relationship to share love that we already have. We're not coming into a relationship trying to get. I want to get love because I'm thirsty, I'm insecure, I'm needy, and I'm unhealed. I'm already full. Let me come in with love to share. And anybody that's coming at you, grabbing and getting and thirsty and scrapping with underhanded motives or impure motives because they're unhealed, because you're at that whole place of wanting to share love, that you're going to be turned off by that. That's why it's so important to get real, come on, and be healed. No matter how fine, no matter how godly, no matter how saved, no matter how anointed, well-spoken, responsible someone is, there are 3 things that they cannot do for you. 3 things that a relationship partner, that significant other, that spouse, that babe, that boo, that boyfriend, that girlfriend, that they cannot do for you. Number 1, they cannot erase your insecurities. They cannot erase your insecurities. If you're deeply insecure, and so when you break down the meaning of the word insecure, let's look at that word. That's like a certain precarious feeling on the inside. It's like the literal, when you break down the root of it, it means rickety. It means wobbly. It means shaky and precarious. It means unsteady and uncertain. And so if you're deeply wobbly, deeply wavering, deeply precarious and uncertain and unsteady about who you are in your heart of hearts, in your soul, and your self-esteem is not where it needs to be, a relationship, a man or a woman will not fix that for you. If you can't go into it like that. And so when you have that underlying precariousness and wobbliness and insecurity and ricketiness on the inside in your soul and in your heart about yourself, then that's going to breed that. Signs of that is the jealousy. Signs of that is that insecurity that comes with romantic relationships. You want normal, healthy boundaries with people of the opposite sex. But if you're deeply insecure and deeply wobbly within yourself, anything that's perceived as the least bit of threat will bring out triggers in you. It will bring out certain triggers and behaviors in you. And so that partner cannot heal that. That's a job between you and the good Lord. I'm talking. They cannot erase your insecurities. Thank you, Sheila. I see you in the comments. And so whenever you're going into a relationship with lots of personal, and I'm not talking about relational insecurity, but I'm talking about you just insecure as a person, as a whole, then you're going to come into it feeling inadequate. You're going to come into it feeling like you're not enough. And it breeds this mistrust and insecurity and inadequacy. And that man can't fix that for you. A man can't heal that for a woman. And so, and what the bigger issue is that you place a very heavy expectation on that man. And if the men that may listen to this, you'll put a heavy expectation on that woman to always be picking you up, always placating you and making on over you and babysitting you and pumping you up and pulling you out the pit. And that's a real heavy expectation to place on somebody. You want to have the tools. You want to be healed up enough on the inside where you know when you're hitting your low points. Now, granted, a relationship partner, they should be with you in the normal ebbs and flows of life as you go up and down and go through different situations. But if you're totally dependent on somebody else to always be pumping up your self-esteem, to be always pumping you up and inflating you and pulling you out the pit and dragging you and pumping you along, that's a very heavy, unrealistic expectation to place on any man or any woman. That is a sign that you have inner healing work to do and a sign that you're deeply insecure, right? And another sign, like if you're insecure, this is a small example, but like text messaging. And this is really true with women. This is something we struggle with in the area of worthiness and our vulnerability and feeling like we're not enough. We get this anxious attachment style, relational style when it comes to relationships within the context of a romantic relationship. And so the moment that man goes an hour or two and hasn't returned your text message, if you're deeply insecure, it's going to drive you crazy. It's going to have you all wigged out. And if you're in a dead end relationship, in a relationship that's not toxic, it'll be extremely triggering. And so a woman that's deeply insecure, those are the kind of stuff that will send her off into a tailspin. Does that make sense? These are the kinds of, that's just a tiny sign of what it looks like when you have deep-seated insecurity and anxiety issues that need to be healed. And so remember, no human is ever responsible for always pulling you up, placating you, pumping up your self-esteem. That's something that I have to work on between me, myself, and I and the good Lord. That's a God job. That's a job between you and Jesus Christ. For those of you who may catch this replay, I am Tanika, and I'm a certified Christian life coach, and I'm unapologetic about my belief. And so that is the frame of reference that I speak from. And so no matter how much your partner, your man, your boo, your significant other, your spouse, whoever, man or woman, no matter how much they affirm you, encourage you, support you, speak life to you, until you change your mindset, until you deal with your heart, until you deal with your soul, they can't change how you see yourself. So if you don't see yourself as enough, if you don't see yourself as adequate, they can pump you up till the cows come home. They can pray for you, encourage you, say all the right things, but you still won't feel it. That's a job between you and God. And so remember, no human can ever give you your worth. No human can ever give you your value. That is something that you have to work out your own soul salvation with God. So number one, a relationship cannot erase your insecurities. Number two, a relationship cannot give you purpose. The end all and be all of your life is not to get married and not to have a man. That is not why God created you. The purpose of your life is eternal. Number one, we said a relationship cannot erase your insecurities. A relationship cannot give you self-esteem. In a relationship, you're not to be placing all of your, expecting that person to pull you out of pits and pump up your self-esteem. So number two, we're saying that a relationship cannot bring you purpose. If you're in an all-consuming search to have a man, if you're in an all-consuming search to be in a relationship, if you're in an all-consuming search to have a boo, to have a hashtag babe, to be one of those cute Instagram couples, if that is your life goal, then you're out of alignment. God did not create you on earth just for that. He put a plan and a purpose on your life. He knew you before you were in your mother's womb, called you by name, put talents, gifts, anointings, special talents and things inside of you that's meant to be expressed in this earth. When you are fully expressed and you are actualizing in the God ordained purpose for you, and when you begin to touch people's lives and shift people as a result of obeying that, then that has eternal implications. When you change lives and when you show up fully for what God called you to do, that has eternal implications. What am I saying? Your purpose is eternal. And being married is not the end all and be all, right? And if you're searching for that to the exclusion of your purpose, that's not it. That's not it. When that relationship falls apart, if you're in a relationship to be cute, if you're in a relationship for financial reasons, for sex, for attraction, to make babies, to be a cute Instagram couple, to look cute in church, if those are the reasons, then that's not what God is calling. And when you get into it and that thing falls apart because the motives were impure, now you're stuck. Your life is much bigger than a relationship. Your purpose is eternal. Your purpose and what you were created for will outlive a marriage, will outlive all of that. It outlives a marriage. It outlives a relationship. Don't let being married and being in a relationship be the end goal and the all-consuming reason why you're alive. So we said, number one, a relationship will not erase your insecurities. And we said a relationship will not bring you purpose. And number three, a relationship cannot bring you healing. A relationship cannot bring you healing. That's, again, is a job between you and God. That person is not responsible. Now, God will use a person, use that man, use that woman within the context of a godly romantic relationship. They will facilitate your healing. They can help you be held accountable for your healing. They can provide comfort and counsel along the way in your healing journey. God will position them to be there for you. But at the end of the day, it's you working out your own soul's salvation between you and God. They're not there to bring you healing. That man, your husband, is not your healer. For men that will be listening to this, that woman, that wife, she's to be a helpmate and not your healer. And we get it twisted. And a lot of times what we do, not only, yes, that's right, only God can heal you. A lot of times what we do is, not only do we go into a relationship looking to be healed, it's not something that we're verbalizing or saying saying out of our mouth, or that's in our conscious awareness in the forefront of our mind, but it's more like a subconscious thing that we're not even aware of, right? So sometimes we'll go in with that intention, and then the other time we'll come into a relationship trying to be Jesus. We're trying to fix, save, help, heal, and deliver somebody for the wrong reasons, because it's pumping me up. It's boosting my self-esteem to try to fix him. And when I'm so busy trying to fix him, then I'm ignoring my own issues because I'm caught up and entangled in his world instead of looking at me. And we get into that savior syndrome. We get into trying to be Jesus. So there's two things I'm trying to say here. Don't get into a relationship looking for that relationship to heal you. And neither do you go into a relationship looking to fix, help, heal, and deliver someone else. I have done that. I'll raise my hands. I'm the first person. I have gone into a situation with you're not realizing it, but that's what I was doing. God, if I can heal him, stand there with him, be beside him through all his hell and all of his mess, and just be there and be, fix, help, heal, save, and deliver. But my motives was wrong, Sheila. My motives was wrong. Why? Because the ultimate intention that I had was to be married. I was doing it. If I could fix, help, heal, be Jesus, stand by, then he'll see what a good and worthy woman I am, what good wifey material I am, and then he'll turn around and marry me. How many of y'all know that doesn't work? Doesn't work like that. So we're not to be Jesus. We're not coming in to save people. Only he can do that. And now that we to come in looking to be rescued for someone to save and to heal us, a relationship cannot bring you healing. And now are we to go in and try to do only what God can do. We have to stay in our lane. There are 3 lanes in life: my lane, somebody else's lane, and God's lane. If I try to get in somebody else's lane and try to be Jesus and fix them and get caught up in their life, I'm going to crash and wreck. I'm going to make a hot mess. If I get in God's lane and try to be God, I'm going to get lost. I don't have the GPS. God's ways are higher than my ways. God's thoughts are higher than my thoughts. If I try to be God, I'm going to get lost up there. But if I just stay in my lane, if I just stay in my lane, focus on healing my life, focus on doing what God called me to do, get my heart straight, work out my own soul salvation. God, heal me. Fill my heart with love. Deal with me. I'm not looking to John and Larry and Marcus to heal me and fix me or pump up me and my insecurities and my self-esteem issues and my weirdness and my jealousies and my idiosyncrasies and struggles. No, I'm going to Jesus. This is how it works. A relationship cannot bring you healing. Why is that? And this is my last point, and I'll wrap this up. No human being can ever actually completely heal you emotionally. Again, God can use them. They can facilitate the process. They can help you be accountable. But the reality is we're all wounded works in process. We are all wounded works in process. So how can I expect another wounded work in process human such as myself to bring about a healing in my life when they're wounded and going through their own stuff just like me? That's an unrealistic and heavy expectation. Now, I can expect my spouse and I can expect my significant other to stand by me and be there with me in the process, but I can't expect them to do the work for me, right? So we don't want to go into relationships looking to be healed, looking for that person to bring us healing. We want to be a safe place for their healing, and we'd expect them to be a safe place for us. That's how it is. That's how it's supposed to be. That's the ideal. And lastly, but not leastly, a person in a relationship, that significant other, that babe, that boo, that boyfriend, that spouse, they will not be able to solve all of your problems. God can use them, God can do anything. The main problem solver is God. Neither can we go into it expecting them to just make us totally and completely happy. Happiness is an inside job. I cannot place my happiness in the hands of, let it be dictated based on the behavior and the presence of another person. It's something that's cultivated on the inside as I heal my life and I work out my own soul salvation, as I cultivate the joy of the Lord in my life, as I let him be my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength, according to Nehemiah 8:10. So I can't let my joy and my worthiness be up and down based on what someone else does, another wounded person in process. So don't go into a relationship looking for a person just to completely make you happy. They are to enhance your happiness. They're to complement it, and they're to bring that extra peace and joy into your life. They're going to add to what's already existing, right? But they're not the sole source of your happiness. They're not the sole source of your joy. Your happiness, amen, is up to you, Sheila. That man, he's going to let you down at some point. He's going to disappoint you. He's going to hurt your feelings. He's going to be caught up in his own little world with his own struggles. And he's not going to see that it has hurt you because he's blind to it. He's in his own world. And so if you're immature and insecure, you'll take that all personal and be down, your emotions and be down in the ditch somewhere because that man is in his own world. So this is why we got to strengthen and tighten up our inner game, so that we can recognize and be responsible. I am responsible to own my own life. I am responsible to God to work out my own soul salvation, and know that a relationship, come on, cannot erase my insecurities. It cannot give me self-esteem. It cannot give me self-worth or validation. I cannot get that from a man having a relationship. Neither can I find my purpose in that. My end all and be all is not an all-consuming search to be in a relationship. That is not the sole purpose why God made me to be breathing on this earth. And thirdly, a relationship cannot heal me. That man cannot heal me. It can be the context and a safe place for healing, to hold me accountable and to be safe for me. But at the end of the day, my healing is between me and God. And so that is it. That's what I'm here to teach on today. I wanted to come out here and just drop these nuggets before you. And I pray that this blesses you, causes you to think, causes you to turn to the Lord and to look at your relationships. I want you to know that I'm right here in the journey with you. I don't claim to have it all together. I teach from experience and from my own study as God leads me through. I'm right in the journey of constantly getting real and being healed myself. I highly encourage you, if this has blessed you, definitely share this out as you're led to do so. Subscribe, hit the notifications. Follow me on my website. Go to tanikabreeden.com. I have lots of stuff coming down the pipeline that I will be sharing with you. So you definitely want to get on the list. You can also follow me on all my social media platforms. Get Real, Be Healed on Instagram and also on Facebook. And I believe I have that here on my page somewhere. So God bless you. Thank you for being here, Sheila. And hopefully, as I continue to do this consistently, I will have more people come on live. But God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your holiday weekend. And I'll be back out here again, hopefully in another week. Take care and talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. You're welcome. You're welcome, Sheila.